So, what should the White House do about the war in Ukraine and the growing threat from Venezuela? Here to weigh in is former White House National Security Council Chief of Staff, Alex Gray. Alex, great to have you on. We had a great discussion this weekend. I'm so excited to have this one as well. So, there's a lot of senators, there's a lot of Washington insiders, even probably defense contract consultants, encouraging Zelensky not to take this deal unless he gets everything he wants. I just want to note that 1.5 million boys have died between Russia and Ukraine. Why would anyone encourage Zelensky not to take this deal?
Rachel, you're 100% right. And if anyone's encouraging either party not to try and find a solution, they're being reckless. And frankly, they don't know what time it is in American foreign policy and really the direction of the globe. President Trump is trying to deliver peace deals for the United States in disparate conflicts all over the world because he's focused on our core interests. That's rebuilding our economic strength at home. That's making the rising generation of Americans feel like they have some skin in the game here at home economically. It's about securing our hemisphere from drugs coming in that are supported by dictators like Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. President Trump has his priorities right. This isn't 1998. We have to focus on where the conflicts are that most affect Americans here at home.
Yeah, that's the Don Road doctrine. I will say before we move on to Venezuela, again, these boys are dying, these Ukrainian and Russian boys, that President Trump has had quite a heart for them. He said it doesn't matter where they're from, they're human beings, and they're dying by drones, almost like a video game. It's a meat grinder. It's absolutely abhorrent. It's a total carnage. So hopefully people will come to their senses and end this war right away. Meanwhile, I want to move to Venezuela. It looks like we're seeing some encouraging signs, but are we seeing encouraging signs that Maduro will actually step away, that he'll take a deal, maybe take some money and head off to, I don't know, Russia? What would that look like? What are you seeing? Does it look like it might happen soon?
Well, I think this is the president's peace through strength approach playing out in real time, and we're watching these daily fluctuations. But what Maduro is looking at is the might of the United States Navy right off his coast. And when he's making decisions about the future of himself, his family, and his regime, he's not taking his eye off of that carrier strike group and amphibious ready group that's right off the coast. And so as he's thinking about what's President Trump going to do, the president's one of his brilliant strategies as commander-in-chief has always been that he doesn't want his opponents to know what he might do. And that wild card factor is keeping Maduro and it's keeping numerous other dictators all over the world up at night because they don't know what President Trump has up his sleeve. And so Maduro's thinking, should I negotiate? Should I take that phone call? Or should I hunker down? And I think right now the strategy is working and Maduro's thinking, I need to talk to President Trump and see if I can work out a deal.
Let's hope that's the case. Let's talk about President Trump's brilliant strategy, because one of them is saying figuring out who our true enemy is. A lot of people really focused on Russia, bad actors indeed, but the real enemy is China. Can you explain to our viewers what that connection is between Venezuela and the Chinese who've basically infiltrated our hemisphere?
Rachel, it's an incredibly important point. And while we've had presidents focused on everything but the Chinese threat for the last 25 years, launching endless wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the Chinese have come into our hemisphere. They're sending troops to train in our hemisphere with leftist regimes like in Brazil. They're propping up dictators in places like Nicaragua, in Cuba. They're doing everything they can to undermine the hemisphere that has traditionally been the core security interest of the United States. And President Trump is always, going back to his first term, he has always had his eye on China as our long-term geostrategic threat. And I think what you're seeing here is a really important strategic reshuffling of priorities, where President Trump is saying, Russia is certainly an adversary. It's a medium-term threat. Russia has a lot of problems. It will not be our long-term rival in this century. That's China. And he's adjusting us to deal with that threat today.
No question about it. Venezuela is the gateway into the Americas for the Chinese, and it is their main place of operation. So, Alex Gray, always great to have you on. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.